Hello students, so we are back with the next episode of talent management. In today's session, we are going to look into the identification of high potential talented employees in an organization, how vital talent acquisition strategies are, and what are the 4 best practices for talent acquisition, and how do we streamline the talent acquisition technology, and what is the way forward, and how is talent acquisition addressed in the current scenario, what is reskilling, and how is it going to help talent gaps, to bridge the talent gaps. So, this is the objective of today's session. So, let us start with identifying the key potentials in an organization. So, when we talk about identifying the key potential, the first and foremost thing is, what is high potential? Who is a talented employee? How do we identify whether an employee has got a high potential or not? So, first thing that we see is the intellect or the drive that is there in an organization, in an employee. When I talk about the intellect, I generally mean the knowledge base or the ability or the mental capacity which the person is going to use during his job role. So, that intellect is related to maybe if it is an organization which is into technology and a lot of research is involved and a lot of knowledge is required to produce or identify a new product. So, there the intellect is very important, and also this intellect is going to be helpful in making the performance during the work. So, that is intellect, and then we talk about drive. When we talk about the word drive, what keeps an employee going? What is his aspiration? What is that motivates him to perform in the organization? What is that he wants to achieve through his job? So, these are the key factors that keeps a person motivated, and that is when he performs. Now, when I tell this word drive, you can relate it to people who are in the field of marketing. So, say for example, there are target driven jobs, and there is always performance indicators which keeps an employee to be on his toes. What motivates an employee, and how does he keeps working in an organization towards the attainment of his targets or his performance indicators? That is what is drive all about. Now, when I talk about agility, I mean the ability or the capability of a person to perform in a changed scenario. So, a person should be adaptable, and he should be in the go for making necessary changes as and when required in a job role. So, that agility is also something which will make a person to scale up high in an organization, whatever be the task given to him, whether he needs to move from one location, job location to another, or whether he has to work from one role to another role, switching from one kind of a department to another. If he is in a position to adapt himself to this changing environment and he is able to perform well, that is when a person is said to be working in an agile organization. And what are the leadership oriented thought process he has, whether he will be able to take up a leadership position in near future. So, when we talk about key performance, we generally see a person in his current job role, but are we sure whether he will be able to perform in the same manner when he becomes a maybe a team lead or maybe a manager, whether he will be able to take up the leadership position? So, the potential in an employee to be a leader is not going to be the same when we talk about a person who is able to attain his targets, whether he is going to be a successful team leader or not. That is again time will tell, or you will be able to identify that only when you know that he has got those skills and capabilities to become a leader. So, that is very important. So, to be a successful leader, he should have those skills, or those skills can be developed in him. That is what an organization needs to identify. There will be a gap between what his current competencies are and what are the competencies that are required for him to have when he will take up a leadership position going forward. So, that gap needs to be bridged, and that gap can be filled through training or giving him the right kind of scenario or environment. So, that is very, very important. Mentoring also is something which will help him to gain that leadership position, and there should be always some kind of a development activities that should be taken into account in order to make existing team player into a team leader. So, that is how we will be able to identify who is a high potential employee. And also, if a person is able to perform well in complex roles, whether he will be able to take up complex roles in future, that is where you will have to identify the potential of an existing employee, because what he is able to perform today in the given scenario, will he be able to do that 5 years from now, when the scenario or the job market or the competition will change and the economic conditions will change, and will he be able to still make a performance there. That is also something that a existing company needs to identify amongst the employee. Say for example, if we talk about a marketing personnel who is into a sales job, or he is into marketing, in the given scenario maybe he will be able to attain his targets, and he will be able to perform well in his current role. But 5 years down the line, will he be in a position to handle a much complex role, whether he will be able to handle multiple products, multiple people, and also keep at par with competition, then that is when you will know whether you should promote him or you should give those kind of roles to that person or not. So, that is something a challenge that every organization has to face, and this identification of key performance players is something that every organization should do in the current market scenario. What are the characteristics of a high potential employee? How do you know whether this employee is a key performer? What are those characteristics that you see in a potential high performance employee? Now, whenever I will talk high potential, I will call it HIPPO henceforward. So, when I say HIPPO, it is high potential employee. So, the basic characteristics are they have strategic thinking, which means that he or she will be able to visualize for the future requirements, he will be able to plan ahead of what is going to be the requirement in future, and he will be always striving for excellence. So, he or she who wants to always be a top performer, those are the people who has got high potential, and they will be always open to learning. They will be taking up tasks where they can learn new skills, or like they can develop new dimensions in their career. So, they are a very learning person, and they will be good at decision making. So, whenever a person comes into a new situation and he takes up key decisions which are going to be helpful for the organization or proves to be fruitful for the organization, you come to know that he is a potential employee. And there should be proactiveness. See, every employee in an organization puts his effort at the task given in hand, but a proactive employee is the person who is able to think well in advance as to what is the future requirement, and he takes initiatives to do a particular task. This is more often seen in terms of customer services, where a employee is already aware, or he thinks 2 steps ahead beyond his customer. So, he will be knowing very well what is the future expectation of the of the customer, and he will be giving them the services that are required. So, that is called as proactiveness. Now, we talk about the adaptability of an employee. A high potential employee, as we said earlier, he will be adaptable in a given scenario, and he will quickly adapt into a new change. So, that is also something we should be looking for when we are talking about high potential. If a employee is not in a position to make a tremendous shift when required, then he still is a good performer in the current scenario, then we are not sure whether he will be able to perform in the changing environment in near future. And there should be leadership orientation. He should be a backer and believer of people. Leaders are people who are performers, as well as they should be having the potential to handle a team, or work with a team. So, that is also something a person should be looking forward to, and he should be into relationship building, because when a employee is working in an organization, he is going to develop only when he is able to manage the existing relationship in the workplace scenario, and he is also in a position to build this relationship maybe with his customers, or maybe with his vendors. So, that is something which he should be in a position to do, and he should be having a eye to stakeholder management. Why is it important that a person should have a stakeholder management outlook? The reason is that in an organization, when the organization is in a phase of development, there will be lot of stakeholders who will be involved in the growth of the organization. This person should be in a position to identify the key stakeholders and see that he or she is able to manage them in a better manner and help towards the development of the organization. So, whenever there is a growing organization, stakeholders need to be managed in a good manner, so that the development happens on a faster pace. And ambiguity management should be there. When we talk about key potential employees, when you put them into a new scenario or a new situation, they should be able to manage the ambiguity as well. The reason being, if they are not able to cope up with the ambiguity, they will either fall back and not able to perform, or they may quit, or they may leave. So, this is something which is very important. When you give a new situation, he should be in a position to manage with the ambiguity and still perform and take it to a better level. So, that is how you will identify who is a key potential employee in your organization. Next, let us see how do we identify. So, what is the methodology or the process of identifying these high potential employees? So, the first and foremost thing that we should have in place is a good performance appraisal system. So, a sensing exercise has to be done by looking into the employee itself. Now, this is the task that comes for the line manager, because the HR may not be aware of a particular employee being in a team and he is a potential performer, because the line manager is the person who is seeing the day to day performance of a team member, and he should be, or he or she should be in a position to identify whether he is a key performer. There should be a accurate assessment of high performing employees. So, how do we do this task? Time to time, organizations or HR managers should take initiatives to make some kind of an assessment of these employees and keep those information for talent management in future, and conducting assessment for identification of these employees also is a very crucial part of HR. So, that is going to be done in the form of routine, maybe an assessment or a performance appraisal. So, that is something which we need to do, and creating individual development plans for each employee to help a speedy growth. Now, every team contributes towards the development of an organization. What is in line for him in the career is something that a employee should be aware of, and mainly if he is a good performing employee, he should be aware of what is in line for him next, because that will help the speedy growth, and we do not have to look for hiring employee from outside whenever there is a requirement coming forward in future. So, that will be also very important. Validating the results to find the employees who can demonstrate a higher possibility and outperforming others is also take a different or a role of potential. So, when we talk about validating the results, we always have to see who is this one particular person or a group of people who are able to outperform their colleagues. So, this is something what we call it when we say set standards, we set benchmarks on the basis of all the performers, but when we have someone who is able to upbeat the existing standard and perform higher than the existing standard, they are going to be our key performers, and they are going to be our leadership potential people in going forward. So, what is the current organizational practice? What is that these the organizations are doing in the current market scenario? So, we should take into consideration the various types of industry and what are the practices in these industries. If we talk, we can think about, you know, maybe it is a hospital, or maybe it is a IT company, or if it is any other kind of organization, there are going to be practices that they have for identifying the talent and also managing them. So, how do generally organization take up this task of talent management is what we are going to see here, and the organization's first and foremost task is to identify the job requirements and find out how they are going to take the decision or related to high potential employees. So, what is the specific job requirements that are not available when making decisions about high potential employees? Many organizations just identify the high potential employees, but they do not make any necessary changes for making them to grow in their career. So, it is very crucial to take decisions as and when required, as they should be able to retain their employees, because if they do not take those decisions at the right time, there are possibilities that these high potential employees might go for better options outside. So, this is very crucial that there should be decisions, timely decisions taken in regards to this. There is a difference between performance and potential. So, when we see that a person is able to perform, we should also try and understand what is his or her potential in future, because there are some people who some of these employees who keep performing in the current scenario, and we are not very sure whether they will have the same potential going forward in future. So, there should be a clear differentiation that we should identify about performance and potential. Now, how do organization define this high performance? So, there is a method followed in certain organization based on strategic positions. So, when I talk about strategic positions, I mean those identified strategic areas which are important for the growth of the organization, or the positions like the CEO or the CFOs or the general managers, the country heads. So, when I talk about the positions, I mean a particular designation that is going to be important for the growth of the organization, because these positions help in the direct decision making of the organization. So, that is with strategic position. When I talk about strategic areas, organization may identify key areas, and there are going to be some of these areas which are going to contribute towards the growth of the organization. It can be a geographical location, or it can be a particular product, or it can be a particular kind of maybe a particular cluster of business. So, this is something that needs to be identified by the organization as to what are the strategic areas and who are the players in those areas. So, that is also a method that has been adopted by many of the organization, because the entire business has got different segments, and there are some segment which are more strategic, and they need to be kept at par in order to keep the company in par with the competition. So, those identified strategic areas are also going to play a major role in identifying the high performers. Then there is going to be a definitional challenges like we are not in a position to define whether this is going to be a key performer, or a talented person may be there in the organization, but we are not able to identify any particular person, because we are not having the plan or the strategic performance methods that we need to follow in order to identify these potential employees. So, there comes a definitional challenge where we are not able to define that this is the key performance or these are the key performance areas. So, that is also one of the challenge that many organizations are facing, and those people who are able to perform in this challenging situation, they are also the high performers, because they are able to perform better even in a challenging situation. Then we go by levels. So, when I talk about various levels, the middle level manager or the top level managers, we have got level 1, level 2 kind of organization has got maybe bands or levels. So, at every level there should be some key performers who needs to be identified, and those key performers need to be taken to the next level in order to keep them in with the organization. So, that is where we go by levels, and then we go by records. When I talk about by records, I talk about the performance appraisal system that we follow in an organization, which reveals that these are the key performers on the in the organization, and what are we going to do with them. So, how are we trying to position them in the organization so that they can be in the organization for a longer duration. So, that is something that we need to identify. The factors that are used to identify high potential employees are: 1, leadership competencies, 2, based on their performance record, then their motivation or their career drives, and what is the level of mobility they are ready to take up, whether they want to relocate to another location or to a strategic location, whether they are adaptable and flexible, whether they are having a specific experience and a tenure, and whether they are having a good learning ability, and whether they are committed to the organization. So, that is important, and if they are committed to the organization, that is when they would like to take up the next position, and next whether they have a personality which has got those variables that are required for those kind of roles, and the specific abilities that are required for a particular job, and the career growth potential for the future requirement. So, these are some of the key factors that we will have to keep in mind while identifying the high potential employees. So, when I talked about characteristics, they are different. When I am talking about the factors, this is in terms of the organization to look forward in a particular individual. So, these things, if are many of these are satisfied, then you can make a plan, and you can decide about how and what you are going to do with your key performers. So, let us see what are the vital talent acquisition strategies that we can follow. So, there, as I was talking in my previous session, there needs to be a clear cut information about whether the talent acquisition is for bulk requirement or is it for a specific requirement. So, whenever there is a new project in place, or when we are identifying the growth of the organization, we say for example, if we are going to open 40 new stores in different locations. So, we need to take new for catering the needs of these 40 new locations, we will have to make hiring, right. So, in that case we will have to go for bulk hiring. So, that is when we will identify few of the existing employees to fit in those gaps, and then we will have to hire new fresh employees from the job market. So, this is one thing which we will have to identify. Hiring for strategic roles, as I said, the higher order positions like the CFOs or the general managers or the directors of the organization, for those roles we have to have a clear cut strategy as to how we are going to hire these people, and are we going to use a consultancy company for hiring them, are we going to because one thing is very clear, we never see advertisement for these kind of strategic roles coming in the newspaper every day. So, these hiring mainly happens through companies or organization or consultants company, which are involved in the process of hiring the strategic role employees. So, we can take help from them, and we can to take up the task. And internal hiring strategy, as I said earlier, so for every 3 hiring that happens for a higher designation, if 2 is done internally, it sends out a positive message in your amongst your employees, and there they strive and work hard towards getting into this position. So, this sends a clear cut positive message to an employee that we are hiring internally and you can go for the next high if you are capable enough. So, internal hiring strategy should be finalized or decided well in advance, so that we do not end up getting or hiring new employees from the job market, because that sends a message that the employees are not up to the mark, the internal employees are not up to the mark, or they are not capable enough, and it sends a wrong message outside that the organization has not developed employees to take up higher position. So, these two things are not a very clear, not a very good indicator for the growth of any organization. So, but nevertheless, that there could be possibilities that you may have to hire people from outside, because maybe those job roles are new and no one else in the organization may have got the expertise to handle those roles. So, there you can plan about hiring from outside, but not all the time. Okay. So, the strategies for technical hires, this is again very important. When it comes to technology, the knowledge and the know-how, the skill is very important, and it has to be decided well in advance as to how are we going to have technical hires. So, what are the 4 best practices of talent acquisition? So, we should look for potential, not for performance. We should prioritize on internal mobility, and we should rethink on who falls under the talent acquisition category, and we should advertise strategically. So, these is the way in which you should do with talent acquisition. When I say advertise strategically, I mean to say that we can go for social media marketing, or we can advertise through social media, so that we can do hiring from the various other organizations like through LinkedIn or any other sources. So, that is how we will have to advertise strategically for the job roles. And streamlining with talent acquisition in technology, as I said earlier that we should use social media platforms like LinkedIn for hiring. We can have application tracking systems in place, and we can have a candidate relationship management software, so that we can automate the process of hiring, and we can also we can have scheduling tools to streamline the candidate expertise. So, these are some of the ways through which technology can be involved in talent management. And beyond hiring, companies should think about reskilling their employees. So, that is also something that we need to do. We can skill the employees that are there in the organization. I hope this was a useful session for you, and thank you.